Hey guys, I decided that it might be time for me to upgrade my 1450 outlet. My first statement would be, if you're getting a new EV, don't use a 1450, use a 650. 650 just uses 3 wires, just uses the ground and the 2 hots. And so that saves you on running this common wire. So it's cheaper to install. You just have to buy the adapter from Tesla for $45 is I think what it costs. But anyway, I didn't do that because I didn't know. I was a new owner. I just opened up the bag, and inside of the bag there was a 1450, so I installed a 1450. So I've had this 1450 since 2018. That I went and did an audit of kind of all the charging that I've done with my different Teslas, and I thought it was about 40,000 kilowatts, but it looks like it's about 47,000 kilowatts have gone through this adapter. So you can see, you know, it's kind of got some sort of oxidation on it. Not really seeing anything that's melted or anything. So overall, I think it's held up pretty good. You know, it just has dust from being in the shed. But anyway, I wondered if it was time to switch from this outlet over to the EV charging outlet. Both of these are Levitrons. They're both from Home Depot. This one, you see right there, it's Levitron. This one I think is $11. And the reason why I had the ground up top is kind of, you know, that's how you install it. But I just wanted to do a compare of the 2 different outlets if anybody's interested. So one of the first things that I've noticed between the 2 is if you look at the contactors in there, or where the plugs will contact the outlet, it's only filling up half of the space. And on this side, half the space. And I'll see a lot of people in the Tesla groups will have one of these that's melted and the other one looks okay. And you know, the conclusion there is that one of these screws has come loose, and so it's causing arcing, and that arcing's caused heat to build up and is causing it to melt. Well, maybe, but you'll notice on this outlet port, the metal comes from the top down. On this one, it goes from the bottom up. So I'm kind of changing my whole theory that maybe it's not, I mean, it still could be, right? One of these screws could be loose, right? This is the one that goes on the side. That's on the top, bottom, and that's the other side. But if one of these is not loose, it could be that the adapter's not fully seated. And since it's not in the outlet all the way, if the plug, you know, is a little bit away from it, it's going to pull, and the prongs are going to go at an angle. Well, if the prongs are at an angle, it's touching most of that contact surface here. But over here, if it's going at an angle, it only is touching a smaller portion of that port. So you're going to build up a lot of heat where it's not going in fully seated, so it's not perfectly flat. So a lot of heat's going to build up there, and then that's going to melt it and melt the adapter. So you know, it still could be a loose screw causing the arcing and causing it to heat up, but it also could be if it's not plugged in all the way, based on that surface only halfway filling up the plug. You know, if it's not fully seated or it's hanging down a little bit, that's going to cause problems. So that's something I've noticed on, you know, the original $10 Jobby. This one also, you know, you can use aluminum, you can use copper. You know, this is the new one. So let me open up the new one, and then we can kind of compare what it looks like. Brand new screws. So here is the new outlet. So if we compare them side by side, you'll see the new one, it's wider. Like the plugs are all the same, but the receptacle itself is wider. You'll notice that those same plugs, you see the copper surface? It fully fills the opening. Something else that I noticed too, I'm gonna just keep saying those words. I don't know how well you can see it. Maybe I can take a screwdriver, and I'll remove the back later in the video. But see how the screwdriver can go in? Right, that's in there a ways. And there's nothing to stop it, right? It can go all the way back and barely touch anything of that contact surface. And you can see how much it wiggles. All of them, when I was playing with them earlier, every one of them wiggles like that. On the EV outlet, you can't do that. There's a plastic limiter and a plastic limiter on both sides. When I try to wiggle the copper that's in there, the copper doesn't wiggle. It's a much more solid connection. And it seems like even if you're not fully seating the 1450 plug, it still can't go up. It can't go down, right? There's a channel in there to make sure that the plug goes in, even if it doesn't go all the way in, it goes in perfectly straight. Because unlike this cheapie, right, I can go in at whatever angle I want, and it won't stop that from happening. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So it does have a limiter on this side, but not on the bottom portion, right? So it can be partially plugged in because there's not a limiter on the other side. See that? So anyway, that's something that I've noticed. And then I touched on that. If you see the, that contact surface, I can just wiggle it around. And maybe that's because this is, nearly a 10-year-old outlet and this is a brand new outlet. But this one, if I try to move the copper connectors or contactors, that contact surface doesn't move at all, right? I can move it side to side, but up and down, it just doesn't move. Okay, so that's one of the differences. It's wider. It has a fully developed seat, right? So that it can't go up or down in any single port. The old one, I guess, I've had mine out a little ways and it has been at an angle. And so by having that contact surface being half the space, right, you're gonna build up heat. So having a fully sized contact surface versus half the size, being able to have it go at an angle. I don't know if you can hear that. It's like this one makes some pretty good noise too. Yeah. This one feels more hollow, but once again, it's nearly 10 years old. Okay, so that's kind of the differences on the front, right? Oh, and this is copper, fully copper, right? You run copper wiring in your house for a reason, and you'll see right on there, it says copper wire only, no aluminum or copper clad wire. So this is requiring only copper. That's what Tesla requires. If you read the manual, it says not to use aluminum at all in any of their charging equipment. On this one, it says, aluminum or copper, replace with only aluminum or copper 75-degree receptacle. And it is, UL listed. And then this one is also UL listed, same manufacturer, but this is saying, specifically copper. So if we look at the depth, you can see how much deeper this connector is. And then there's something else that I like a lot more about this one, because one of the problems that I had when I was self-installing is that you have, on this one, the wires go in the back. In this one, they go in through the bottom and then on the side, right? So to have the wires going into the box, have the wires going into the bottom, and then having the receptacle go into the outlet or into the box, that's a lot easier to get this to go in, where the wires can go down and loop to come out. Whereas with this one, all of the wires are sitting in the back, and you have to kind of smash the wires inside of the box to get this to go in. It's shorter, but I can tell you when I did it, I remember I did not enjoy that part of it. So there are the 4 connectors that go in, right? And you'll see that these match, right? So this is the side, this one is the side, that's the neutral, and this is the ground. And you'll see on it, it tells you, right? Green wire, white, and this is Y or X. So those are your 2 positively charged terminals. On this one, we've got white, 2 positively charged terminals, and G. So W, G, Y, and X. And then it has a strip gauge on it. Looking to see if this, oh, that has a strip gauge too. Roughly the same strip gauge. This one gives you the torque spec of tightening the terminal to 75 foot-pounds. Terminal, oh, so this is interesting. So this has 25 foot-pounds. Or actually, that's inch-pounds. And that's inch-pounds, I'm sorry, I misstated that. So this is 75 inch-pounds. That one's 25 inch-pounds. So this one, it wants you to torque it down a lot more. And then on this one, it says wire size range, AWG. I don't know how well you can see that. Wire range, AWG. And I'm gonna go up because that's how my brain works, but from 4 gauge to 10 gauge wire. And this one does not give a wire recommendation. I did 6 gauge wire in it so that I could take it to the full 40 amps of charging speed, because I'm using a Gen 1 Tesla charger, which can go to 40 amps. All right, and then you see also from the ground terminal, there's a ground strap that goes to the receptacle on this one. This one does not have it. There's nothing on the side of the terminal doing anything like that. I can open it up. Nothing better on the YouTube video of having your dog go crazy on somebody walking past. All right, the dog is now chilled out. Oh, that's awesome. Neighbor's going camping, so the dog's gonna lose his mind. Something else that I noticed on this too is on the ground plug. It has like a, I don't know if it's tin, I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not a copper terminal. And then down on the white, you do have a copper terminal on this side of it. I don't know how well you can see in there, but that one is also copper, and that one is copper. So they're copper where they connect, except for the ground, but where they come out, it is some sort of silver terminal, right? And on the EV one, they're all copper terminals, even the ground. So I don't know. I would definitely do an EV outlet. I think these are now required by code. If you're doing a charging outlet, you have to do an EV outlet. That's probably why they put the car on it, so it's easy to see it, to make sure somebody's in compliance. But it just seems, to me, I wish I had a food scale, right? But this feels a lot heavier, feels better built. It does jiggle a little bit. But this one really, anyway. If you have a band, you forget your shaker, pull out your outlet. I don't know, this just feels a lot better made. As it should be, right? This is for constant load, and this is for more variable load. But for me, just having the contact surface filling the whole space. Oh yeah, look at that. I just push on a little bit, and the whole thing went up. I don't know if I close the lug on it, meaning, if there's a wire in it, does that, yeah, it's definitely connected to that. So maybe as that's tighter, it won't do it as much, but yeah, I was able to just take my screwdriver and just push the whole thing. So now your terminal is only that much of the entire space. So that alone would build up a lot of heat in it, would cause problems. And I don't see anything to stop that from happening other than if the wire fully filled this space and kept it from rotating. But I mean, it's not moving that much, right? I'm just pushing it down. But if you look at that surface, there's just not much surface for it to clamp against. Can I do that over here? No, I can't, because I can't even get into the screw. I can't manipulate the screw, right? Like on these, I can. I can just move the screws with my fingers. But this one, it's all, that's probably why it doesn't jiggle as much, because all of those, yeah, those don't, they're not moving at all. Oh, that one's moving. That one's wiggling. Yeah, maybe it's just because it's new. Wiggling a little bit. But if I try pushing that, if you see that, right, I try pushing it, it doesn't move. If I try sliding it, I mean, I'm gonna move to this outlet. I shouldn't scratch it up too much, but I can move it side to side, but I can't get it to move up and down. So, you know, even bigger reason to use it, you know, you can see how much I can mess with that receptacle. That's interesting. Yeah, that's really, I don't know. Go with the EV rated one. That's the summary of the whole thing. But you know, if anybody else is a geek like me and kind of wants to see the difference between the two, I looked for a video and I couldn't find one, so figured I'd make one. So it's a quick video. Let me put them, you know, side by side, so you can see, you know, kind of a pan. Oh, that's interesting. So the two side terminals fully fill the space, but the white, that is only half the space. Yeah, it's only half of the space on the white. I mean, you don't need it, especially for charging a Tesla. You only need the 2 positive in the ground. You don't need the neutral. So that's why I was saying to do the 650, because the 650 you only have to run the 2 wires in the ground. So you only have to have 6.2 versus a 6.3. So yeah, that only fills half the space, but it shouldn't be used. And even if it is, right, the load on these two fills the same or lesser space than the neutral does on this outlet. So anyway, I'm gonna go get this thing installed, and then I'll keep my insurance rates down because my house won't burn. Spin it around, show the back of it. Right, show the ports where it goes in again. And then this one, everything's on the back. I took that screw off thinking that this might just pop off, but it looks like, you know, there's some clips, and I didn't want to break the clips off. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, so I don't know that it really matters, but because I don't know there's much value in a used 1450 outlet. But this is what I use for my range, you know, my oven. So I'll keep it around just in case there's ever a problem with the oven one, and then I can put it back in. But I don't know if I would. You can see there's like a gap or some sort of darkening on that terminal. Same on that terminal. This one, yeah, it's got the same thing right on the edge. So yeah, this is probably, I'm just gonna pitch it, or maybe go put it in the recycle bin. Anyway, there you go. I hope that was helpful. If it is, you know, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, thanks for watching.